Okay, so what would actually happen if 100 humans fought one gorilla? First, let's talk about the gorilla. A full-grown male silverback can lift over 1,800 pounds, sprint faster than you think, and has a bite force strong enough to snap bone. It's basically a tank made of muscle. Now, throw 100 people at it. Sounds unfair, right? Not exactly. In reality, humans are soft, squishy, and not exactly built for hand-to-hand combat with jungle monsters. The first 10, probably gone in seconds. The next 20, crushed, bitten, tossed like rag dolls. Even if they rush all at once, panic sets in. People trip, they freeze. This thing isn't just strong, it's terrifying. But eventually, numbers start to matter. People get behind it, on top of it, maybe grab rocks, branches. Slowly, the gorilla tires. It gets overwhelmed. Yes, the humans win, but not without insane casualties. We're talking 30, maybe 50 people down, minimum. So yeah, 100 versus 1 sounds easy. Until that one is built like a living forklift with anger issues. Follow for more wild what-ifs. This is how I got laced. I got laced with meth a couple of years back. After staying awake for 4 days, I tried to sleep in my friend's spare room. I then hallucinated them talking about me, saying things like, "I'm gonna go in and yell at him. What's he gonna do back?" I imagined a conversation in which they called another one of our friends to come kidnap and torture me to death. I ran out and begged them not to, while screaming and crying. They told me I was okay and just coming down and paranoid. They offered me a sleeping pill, and I thought that was to make their plan easier. As they were calming me down, I imagined their smiles growing really big and looking evil. So I sprinted out of the house and jumped the fence, screaming and running down the road with no shoes or belongings. A vet clinic opened their door and invited me in after hearing me ask for help. I went in, threw up in the office, and asked them if they were secretly working with my friends to get me back to their house. They called the cops, and I spent a day or two sleeping in the hospital. When I got out, I went to another friend's house and stayed with him for a few days, having some drinks and watching movies. It was the craziest thing I have ever experienced. Follow and like, or this will happen to you. Okay, buckle up. This isn't some funny little upside coughed to hard kind of story. This is real and dumb and 100% my fault. I was 17 at the time, senior year. I thought I was untouchable. Had a little side hustle going, nothing too crazy. Started by selling tree to classmates, then edibles. Then somehow I got hooked up with this dude from another school, who fronted me a whole pound of tree to flip. Biggest mistake of my life, I brought it to school. I had it in my backpack, double bagged, Febrized. Even threw in some dryer sheets like that was gonna fool anyone. I wasn't even planning on dealing that day. I was just too paranoid to leave it at home. That morning, I stuffed it in my locker like an idiot. So lunchtime rolls around and I'm already feeling stressed. My brilliant solution: go around the back of the gym and light up a cigarette to chill. Not even tree, just a smoke. I'm to drags in when Mr. Carlson, our school cop, walks around the corner. I freeze. He doesn't say anything at first, just walks up, grabs the cigarette, drops it, and steps on it. Then he gives me the look. "What's in your backpack?" At first I play dumb. "Just books, man." But my heart is pounding so loud I'm surprised he can't hear it. He radios something in, and within 5 minutes, I'm in the office. They open my locker. The smell hits the hallway before they even unzip the backpack. Assistant principal turns pale. Officer Carlson opens it up, looks inside, and just says, "Yeah, that's a lot." Fast forward, I get cuffed right there in the office. My mom shows up crying. I'm being charged with possession with intent to distribute on school grounds, which is a felony. I spent 2 nights in juvie. Got expelled. My plug never spoke to me again, and I had to go through months of court dates, probation, and mandatory drug counseling. My college plans, gone. I had to totally restart my life with a record, and all because I decided to bring a pound of tree to school and got caught smoking a cigarette. Tried to take the edge off by smoking behind the gym. Got caught, searched, and they found a pound of tree in my locker. Got arrested, expelled, and it derailed my life. Don't be me. Hit the follow button and like this video or this will happen to you.
So, I live in a quiet apartment complex. Nothing fancy. My neighbor, Tim Cheese, yes. Real name, is the kind of guy who wears socks with sandals and mows his fake grass. Super friendly. Always smells vaguely of brie. Last week, I noticed weird humming from his unit, like an old printer mixed with Gregorian chanting. At 3 a.m., curious and dumb, I knocked. Door creaks open. No one there, except rows of craft singles stapled to the wall. A wheel of Gouda slowly spinning on a turntable, and Tim standing shirtless in the kitchen injecting Velveeta into his veins with a turkey baster. I noped out. But now I get cheese delivered to my door every morning. No note. Just a single slice and a smiley face drawn in mayo on my doormat. Last night, I had a dream. Tim whispered, "You're next, Colby Jack. I don't even like cheese."
Ever wondered what actually happens when you break a bone? Let's break it down, pun intended. When a bone breaks, it's called a fracture. Your body freaks out, blood rushes to the site, bringing white blood cells to clean up damaged tissue. Within a few days, your body starts building a soft callus kind of like nature's duct tape made of collagen and cartilage. Over the next few weeks, that soft stuff transforms into hard bone. This process is called ossification, aka bone remodeling. Doctors help by realigning the bone. They might use a cast, traction, or even metal plates and screws if the break's serious. After a few months, the bone is stronger than ever. Just don't go jumping off anything ... again. Pretty amazing, right?
Okay, so as the title says, I grew up in a haunted house. When I was little, we had a man that lived in the downstairs bedroom. He was really old, older than my grandparents at the time, really skinny, and wore 70s style large glasses. I never remember a time that he wasn't living with us in that house. So for me, that was just how things were. But he was mean and scary. All of the bedrooms and closets in the house had locks on the outside of the doors, and he would often lock my and eventually my little brother in different rooms in the house. One day when I was about 5, he locked me in the laundry room that my dad built off of the garage, with the lights off. It was pitch black. I wasn't tall enough to reach to light, and became hysterical when I couldn't get out of the room. When my mom finally found me, I was still very upset and asked her why she let that mean old man live with us. She said, "What old man?" Come to find out years later, the man who owned the house before us died in the downstairs bedroom, and was a known pedo. That night, I barely slept. I locked my bedroom door, something I hadn't done since moving in, and kept the lamp on, like the light would somehow keep me safe. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to the sound of breathing. Not mine. Heavy, wet, irregular. At first, I thought it might be from the hallway, someone walking past. But it got louder, closer. Then the locked door, began to rattle, gently, like someone was methodically jiggling the handle. I froze. I couldn't move. My heart was pounding so loud I was sure whoever was outside could hear it. Then ... silence. Just when I began to relax, I heard it, a voice, my voice, whispering my name, over and over. Not urgent, not angry, almost hungry. Come on, let me in, let me in, let me in. I didn't sleep. I barely even blinked. The next morning, everything looked normal, except the door. The bottom panel had a smeared handprint, like someone had pressed their face there from the floor. The fingers were too long, too thin. Deep scratches trailed beneath the nails. I moved out that day, crashed with a friend, desperately searched for a new place. I thought I was safe. I was wrong.
This is a story told to me by my roommate. It happened 3 years ago, in 2022. It was the week of Thanksgiving, and my daughter's boyfriend had invited me and my daughters over to his family's house in Connecticut to spend Thanksgiving there. There wasn't much space in the house, so me and my daughters had to stay in the basement. The only people who lived in the house besides my daughter's boyfriend were his grandmother, his sister, and her husband. A few more family members were supposed to be staying over as well, but since we came late that night, I didn't get to meet any of them. We stayed the first night in the house, and it was finally the morning of Thanksgiving. I normally wake up pretty early, so I was up by 7 a.m. I was the only one awake in the house. I went upstairs to the kitchen and sat on a high chair. I sat for a bit just drinking some coffee and relaxing before the day began. As I was drinking my coffee, I saw a cute little boy coming downstairs. He was in his pajamas and came downstairs to the fridge to get something to drink. I smiled at him and watched him go back upstairs. I remember thinking about how adorable he was. Well, later that day, everyone got ready and went into the kitchen and living room as we began our Thanksgiving celebration. Everybody was together having a great time, and that's when I decided to ask out loud, "Hey, where's the cute little boy that I saw earlier this morning?" I was instantly pulled aside by the grandma. She looked at me in shock and says, "Shh, careful, my daughter doesn't hear you. Her son died in front of this house a few years ago. He got hit by a car. I see him too sometimes, but nobody believes me." My heart instantly dropped. I couldn't believe what I had just heard. After hearing that, I couldn't help but have a weird feeling the rest of the time I was in that house. Later that night, my daughter and her boyfriend went upstairs to get some yogurt from the fridge. She specifically remembered grabbing a strawberry yogurt and putting back a banana yogurt she had grabbed. As they headed back downstairs to the basement, their hearts dropped as they noticed that the banana yogurt was placed on their bed. We felt super uneasy after this. Thankfully, we ended up going home the next day. Hopefully, we won't have to go back anytime soon.